Hello everybody and welcome to the Action Figure Atorium. My name is Mark Major. I am a real big toy collector here hunkered down in Southeast Portland, and one of the things that I love to do is marketing analysis of action figure Kickstarters, where we do some deep dives and look at things such as the pricing, such as the selection, as well as their marketing materials, and I always like to weigh in with a bit of opinion. Now, we're going to be starting off something fresh here in 2025, looking at the Cursed Dead from, let's see, what is the name of the guys doing this? They are called Toy DNA, and this looks like some pretty cool, interesting sculpts and designs on these guys. I think that they're going to do pretty good. I think they're going to get a lot of backers on this. I think a lot of people are looking for toys like this. But I'm going to weigh in. I'm going to give some opinions on the marketing side of things, and I'm going to also weigh in my own personal opinions as a collector and talk about the things here that I think are good, and I think maybe a few of the things that could be improved upon. So everybody come together, strap on the leather, and hold on tight. All right, so let's cut over, shall we, to our desktop view. Now, before we look at the Kickstarter, I want to let everybody know that the Action Figure Atorium has passed the 1,000 subscriber mark. I know that that was a huge feat, and to celebrate this, we're doing a giveaway, a super giveaway, as it were. In fact, there's an interesting backstory about this super giveaway. And if you want to enter it, head on over to this video that I will link in the description. In that video, I go through what prizes I'm giving away as well as how to enter it. So link will be in the description. I invite everybody to head over there and, you know, give it your best. See what you got. Okay. Here we go, the Cursed Dead. Should we start off by watching their trailer video? That is usually the best piece of marketing and the starting point for most of these campaigns. I usually think it's a good idea to roll through it. It tells you a little bit about how serious people are in terms of their production value. So let me mute my microphone as we play this thing. Let's check it out. In fact, let's make it full screen. There we go.
Somewhere between the living and the undead exists the Cursed Dead, a modern reimagining of history's most infamous monsters.
Also, someone talking with their voice pitch shifted down and lots of reverb.
Vampires, demons, spirits, and shape-changers. Beyond death, these are the Cursed Dead. A collaboration of toy industry veterans with over 50 years of combined experience, bringing you the hyper-articulated 112 scale action figure line for your nightmares. Horror brought to life in articulated form. Supernatural paint deco. High-quality soft goods. The Cursed Dead, Wave 1. Now on Kickstarter.
All right. How many of you guys are actually scared by that? Let's read through some of their marketing, see what they talk about. Toy DNA proudly presents a premier 1/12 scale toy line to complement your 6-inch action figure collection, the Cursed Dead Wave 1. So consists of 9 figures according to them. This is a core team of toy industry veterans led by, and then it lists some guys here who worked for companies such as Toy Biz, Playmates. Someone else worked here for Gentle Giant Studios, etc. Someone else worked for Hasbro, Mattel, Disney. So these are kind of heavyweights who've done their time. They're veterans of the industry. I don't recognize any of these names, but that doesn't matter. A lot of times you don't really know who's behind a lot of the products out there of major brands, and a lot of times it's a bunch of teams, and you know, it's always the executives who take the credit for stuff. So good to see that these industry guys are forming their own little sort of nuclei and putting out indie toys. That's kind of what we want. Let's scroll through here. Okay, we get the exploded view. This is always for the hardcore collecting guys. I find that this stuff to me doesn't really do anything, but the hardcore collectors get off on this kind of thing. So we go through here, we get a basic figure, we get the drinker. He's some kind of a like blood drinker, some kind of a vampire. We can see he's this to me looks like sort of the body that Eddie, the mascot for Iron Maiden, would have. I think that's might be kind of interesting if only those NECA Iron Maiden guys were in this scale. That'd be kind of cool. So we got this vampire guy, and then there's sort of, I guess he comes with a couple different heads. Then we get a Gene. He's basically the exact same buck, but different paint job, different head. Comes with some extra accessories there, other hand, that kind of thing. We get Gordy, because he's got a gourd for a head. It looks like the exact same buck. Different paint job, different head. And then we get into Hate. He's the exact same buck. Different paint job, different head. And then we get into Rage. Exact same buck. Different paint job, different head. Okay. Now we get into the deluxe guys. Dr. Crane. He's some sort of mutated fly man. And he's got, looks like he's sort of got burned at the lab. And then we get into this. Dr. Scanty. And he's got a good lab coat. So wait a minute. Well, I think I'm seeing the art of production here. So what it is these guys buy a whole bunch of these little lab coats for this guy, and then up here they got someone at the factory whose job is to smoke cigarettes all day and let me see here. Smoke cigarettes all day and then just like burn little holes in it. So some guy on the factory line is like going through 3 packs. Totally chain smoking. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to bring cancer upon your guys. Okay, then we got some kind of a song here. And a YouTube video, which I'm not going to play because of things, and it's Krangle. So it looks like it's the same. By the way, these guys, I just want to point out, it's the same parts of the same buck, but then they added some different, parts of the same buck, but then they add a couple different extra pieces. Different head in this guy. Parts of the same buck, but they add a different arm, right? Different kind of hand. But so they're continually reusing the same buck, adding some extra parts in. And this guy, same buck, different paint job, different head, but you get soft goods. And this guy, the Wendigo, same buck, different paint job, different head, soft goods. Those soft goods look pretty cool. And some stretch goals if they get to 250,000, 300,000, risks and challenges. Okay, well, let's go to what these things cost. I think that's probably the most interesting. So 40 bucks for the drinker, 40 bucks for the Gene, 40 bucks for Gordy, 40 bucks for Hate, 40 bucks for Rage or Rage. 2 basic figures, 75 bucks. Get 5 bucks off if you order 2. That's what we call the carrot and stick. The carrot and stick is where you encourage people to buy multiple figures by giving a discount. This is great for the toy company because the toy company needs to go to the factory and order as many figures as possible. The more figures, the cheaper they get them. So it's a balancing act. How much of a discount do you give? Right? At what point are you still making good money? It's a balancing act. It's never easy. You got to try and figure out, do you want to really get a lot of people to buy by giving huge discounts, or do you just want to keep making money off these? 85 bucks for these deluxe guys, including the 2 scientists. 85 bucks for the Krangle. 85 bucks for the Wendigo. And then, of course, they've got some multi-packs that you can get, some of the all-ins, some early birds, that kind of stuff. You know, little package deals that you see. Okay, so let's go through our best practices. Now, some of you know these. A few of you might be new and you've never heard of the best practices. Let me just throw this graphic up on the screen real quick. You can freeze it later and come back to it. we're going to get into the 3-tier pricing for your products. We're going to get into the selection, and we'll talk a little bit about their marketing material and what they're showing. So anyways, let's make that go away. We don't need that anymore. Well, that was the wrong one. That was the wrong one. Here we go. All right, sorry. I know the production value of this show is over the top, people. So 3-tier pricing means you have a standard figure which should be priced to where anyone could afford it. So if a guy just wants one little doodad guy, you should be able to get that guy in. Some people want to support these indie companies, but they don't want to support them all in, or early bird, or buy everything, or buy the deluxe, or buy this. They just want to get the one guy so that they get a piece of the action. They wet their beak. They put some money in the till, because you can't support everything all the time, but it'd be great to spread it around. So you need something standard that's cheap enough for everybody. Then you need something deluxe for people who have more money, willing to spend more if they get more. And then you have a luxury item that exists solely for the purpose of being a luxury item, solely for the purpose of those rich cats who, no matter what the most expensive thing is on the menu, they buy it. They don't even know what it is. They don't know what they're going to do. They have the money and they just buy it. Why not? And usually the ratio for this is 4 standards to 2 deluxe to 1 luxury. It's kind of a pyramid. And these guys, just looking at the fact they've got 5 guys at $40 and then 4 guys at $85 tells me that they do not have this. They do not have the cheap standard figure. They basically have a mid-level and a luxury level based on these pricings. You might think that the $40 is the standard and the $85 is the deluxe because of the way they put it here. I'm going to disagree with that. But if that's the way you see it, okay, I get it. Either way, then there's no like expensive $100, $120 luxury item, that kind of thing. So, you know, it's okay to disagree on this stuff. I think they would have been much better off if they could have somehow squeezed out a whole bunch of like 10 standard guys on the super cheap for people. But we'll see what happens. And then as far as selection goes, they do have a wide selection. They've got 9 guys. Remember, we said that the wider the selection, the more figures there are to buy, the more figures people will buy, or the more choices there are for someone to get hooked on something, right? Maybe you don't like red guy, maybe you don't like blue guy, but maybe you like yellow guy. Or maybe you don't like yellow guy, but you like green guy, you know, that kind of thing. Or you like a couple of bigger selection, the more you're going to sell. And then when it comes to having all of your marketing on the page, I have to say that they, in their FAQs, which I did check out, they say, where can we see more of these figures? And they list their Instagram. If we go to their Instagram, we see that there's a few more shots of them. And that is a problem, because when people come to these Kickstarters, they see a link on Facebook or X Twitter or, you know, Instagram, that kind of thing. And they go to the Kickstarter page expecting to find all the information they need to know about this, and it's missing, and it is missing, right? And I definitely feel that in their campaign page, they're missing a lot of marketing stuff, things that people like to see. They like to see lots of beauty shots of the figures, really well done action figure photography with dioramas, as well as the guys doing all the full movements and poses. They also like to see shots of the figures next to their other favorite lines, Mythic Legions, and now a big upcomer that I think is going to prove to be a sort of a juggernaut in the room, Savage Crucible, which people are already got wave 1 in their hands. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, right? Maybe some classics like Black Series or Marvel Legends. Usually when you show pictures of your new figures, your indie figures next to these other classic figures, people automatically can kind of get a feeling of how they're going to fit into what they own in terms of the size, the scale, and the overall look next to them. These things really go a long ways in helping to sell indie toys. And I don't see any of that. I do see these shots, and these are really good looking shots of some 3D prints they did with their paint jobs. Again, the paint jobs look good. The photos look good. The complaint here is that there just aren't enough of them, because what I feel sells toys nowadays is what I call fun factor, right? One of the biggest underdogs out there that I covered was that odious 1/12 Bigfoot figure that was just one guy, right? However, it funded at a little over 100,000, and he's since gone on to be a kind of a crowd favorite amongst the collectors because he has what a lot of other figures don't have, fun factor. He has a lot of fun factor to him, and you need to show fun factor. It's not enough to show articulations and paint jobs and soft goods and industry creators doing this. You really need fun factor more than anything, and they're severely lacking on it. Even on their Instagram page, it's really lacking in the fun factor. Also, I'd like to point out that these guys, although they're, our industry guys, they don't have an official website or any kind of an official page other than that Instagram. And in fact, if you search for Toy DNA, you end up coming to this site, which is called Premium DNA Toys, which some of you know are putting out like some Care Bears and some Battletoads and some Earthworm Jim kind of stuff. And so you might confuse the two, and this is going to be a problem. In fact, it wouldn't be a bad idea if these guys changed their name to something else that doesn't have DNA in it. That's just an aside from Mark Major here at the Action Figure Atorium. Again, you can disagree. You can put it in the comments and disagree. One of the great things about putting stuff in the comments is that I almost always reply. And a lot of times I'm proven wrong and people will convince me otherwise, and I will change my mind. But you got to actually do it. You got to put the argument out there. And right now, it seems like there could be confusion in the consumers' minds. That's what I'm thinking. So this is some of the stuff that I'm seeing with this. Now, let's look at the campaign itself in terms of how much money they've raised. They've only been at this for about a day or two. They've already got $26,000 in the can. That's a lot of money. That's pretty good. They need to hit 175. Usually for a single buck, it's about 100,000. But these guys have some other things in mind, and so they need extra dough apparently for all the different heads. And maybe these paint decals are expensive. Maybe the soft goods are expensive. Maybe they just know that they're going to need more money because, in fact, they are guys who've worked in the industry, and so they're asking for money. They've gotten 108 people hooked up so far. One of them I see is Brick Something. Shout out to Brick Something. I love his show, his news show. If you don't know who Brick Something is, look him up on YouTube. Give him a follow. Definitely a cool cat. We should be paying a little bit more attention to him. And he's in on this. He's a great supporter of indie toy companies, and I can definitely see him getting behind this. So what do I think of the toys myself? Well, I'm not going to lie and say that that they aren't cool on some level of creepy undead stuff. I mentioned the Iron Maiden Eddie thing, of which I collect all those NECA Iron Maiden Eddies, as well as I got the NECA Vic Rattlehead from Megadeth. I've got the NECA Stormtroopers of Death. I love the heavy metal undead stuff. I collect Mythic Legions. I've got some undead vampire people there. These guys are more than welcome in my collection. They would hang out and have a good time. They're perfect for that kind of stuff. They go right along with it. I do feel that they're all kind of the same in a sing-songy way, though, because they're all using the same sort of gassed body, ghoul body, that sort of, you're looking at sort of the skin missing kind of body, and they're just putting a different head on them. I mean, the paint jobs are clearly really well done, but they're all kind of the same to me, and I don't see enough variety in the line for it to actually hook enough people, it's like if you instantly aren't into this, if you instantly don't want one of these guys, the sales are going to be at zero. You're not going to get maybe one, maybe two, maybe you're going to, it's a zero, it's a bunch or nothing kind of thing. And I think that they've got the hardcore collector dudes right off the bat. The first 100 guys signed up. I think they're going to have a hard time getting a lot more people, although we've got 30 days to go. And a lot of times when I say things like this, like I mentioned how, Brutal Realm looked like it could be struggling, and then all of a sudden they just started crushing it at some point. They were like, they had only $30,000, and then all of a sudden the next day they were at $250,000. Anyone remember that? We might have to go back and revisit that campaign and see what happened. It's as if somebody just dumped a truckload of money onto them. And that could happen here. There could be a truckload of cash that shows up. Maybe it's one of those toy stores like Big Bad Toy Store that dumps a bunch of cash onto these guys. But I think that they don't have enough variety. Also, another thing that I mentioned in best practices is that you need to have, let's go back to the rewards page. You can't just have figures to raise money. You need to pad it out with all that extra tchotchke garbage. You need to have t-shirts that people can buy. You need to have hats that people can buy. You need to have things like bracelets and necklaces and keychains and coins and digital posters and real posters and digital comic books and real comic books, right? You need to have wristbands and headbands and scarves and beanie hats and trucker hats and boonie hats and capes and chin straps and sunglasses and jock straps. You need to have all this extra garbage and trash and shit basically for sale, right? Collectible coins, collectible trading cards, sticker packs, 1 sticker pack, 2 sticker pack, 3 sticker pack, 6 sticker pack. You need all that trash to get your numbers up, right? That totally pads it out. And those things, most of them, yes, they take extra work. They take extra design. They take extra time. You do have to take some money to get those printed up, to get all that stuff made. But you can fulfill that stuff real easy. A lot of that stuff you can get printed up anywhere in the United States, in any town. At the 6-month mark, when people are like, hey, where's my toy? And we're like, we told you it would be 4 years with Chinese New Year coming up, right? And where's my, you're still having, you're like, no, you paid us to learn how to make toys. That story, right? You can ship them their poster and they shut up for a few months. You can give them their gold coin and they shut up for a few months. You can throw the goddamn keychain at them and you will shut these people up for a few months while you figure out what is going wrong with your paint samples at the factory, right? So you need all this stuff to hit those big, big numbers. And they don't have any of that going on here. All they've got is this $1, and it's a cool buck, and it's very versatile, and you can get a lot of guys out of it, but it's $1 for a lot of money, $175,000. And the variety is all kind of the same. It's just a different paint scheme, different head on it. Even though I do like the looks of these, I do think they're cool. I do think there's a lot you could do in terms of your collections with these. And if they hit their numbers, right? If these guys do hit their numbers and people get these toys, right, and it'll be like 2027 before you get them at this point, you're going to love them. People are going to love these guys. They're going to love having them in their collections. You're going to see these like weird vampire bat guys driving the Batmobile, and it's going to be awesome. Or that one bat cycle that's made out of bones, that skull. You're going to see these dudes on those kinds of vehicles, and it's going to be so cool. I'm just concerned that they don't have enough fuel in the gas tank to get them where they want to go. But as always, the Action Figure Atorium has a message, okay? I do have a message despite what you might think, and the message is stop buying Hasbro, okay? Don't buy the Dragon Man when he comes out. Put the garbage. Don't buy Funkos, okay? Don't buy Super 7. Stop buying that crap. Invest in indie companies. If you're going to buy that crap, don't waste your money. At least put it into this campaign. Let these guys have a shot at making something. Sure, there's going to be a little bit of trying to figure it out as a new company when they're going forward. If they can get past this one hurdle, who knows? The next one will be easier and it'll make more sense and they'll know what they're doing, and then they'll be on track and it will be great. It'll be part of this new golden age of toy collecting. So I want to thank everybody, every single one of you out there who made it this far in the video. I appreciate everybody who makes it this far in the video. I appreciate everybody who gives a like and subscribes, especially people who give comments. Again, the 1K super giveaway is going on. Go back to that video, watch it, figure out how to enter that contest. We need people to enter that contest to prove everybody wrong. All right, with that, you know what I say? Stay charged.